Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Architectural Review Board of June 3rd, 2025. And if we can just go over who's present here tonight. My understanding is that the applicant for 49 Bayfield Lane has asked for it to be held over. So if we can get a motion to hold this over.
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we also have 4 Happy Lane. We also have Beechwood West Hampton LLC, 50 Depot Road. And we also have Old Riverhead Road Partners LLC for a sign plan. And so far, I don't see anyone present here tonight. So let's start with Beechwood West Hampton LLC, 4 Happy Lane. This is a 2-story, single-family dwelling, 4 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, over an unfinished basement with a cellar entrance and egress well, an attached 2-car garage, roofed over entry patio, gas fireplace, attached rear patio, an in-ground swimming pool with a patio at grade, an enclosure fence, sanitary system, driveway, and landscaping. Good evening.
Good evening. Paulina Gianpietro, attorney for the applicant Beechwood West Hampton LLC with offices at 200 Robbins Lane, Suite C1, Jericho, New York, 11754. I'm just gonna hand out my pamphlet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you had said, this is 4 Happy Lane. This is lot 11. And I'll just start from the top down. So the roof is made of Tamco architectural shingles or equivalent for the main roof. And then they will be in black walnut or equivalent. And then there is 2 metal roof details, one above the front porch and then one on the shed roof in the front of the house. And those will be Atlas black or equivalent, which will be a matte colored black. The siding material, majority of the siding is cedar shake that will be painted white. At the top of the front elevation, the second story, it will be a board and batten, which will also be white, Arctic white. The trim material will be a PVC or equivalent, which will also be white. The windows are Anderson 400 series casement windows, specified equal light, and they will be in black. The doors. So the front door is a 36-inch recessed panel for light on the top with a solid panel on the bottom. That will be black. The rear door, the rear slider door, is an Anderson A series sliding glass door, and that will also be black. And then the pedestrian doors throughout the rest of the house are Therma-Tru or equivalent, and they will also be black. The garage doors will be American Traditional Series, which will also be black. And then around the foundation, the exposed foundation, and the front porch, I think the rear porch, will be red brick covering.
If we could just go back to the garage doors, they're
Sure.
still going to have the glass on the top?
Yeah,
Okay.
it might be a little hard to tell in the picture, but yeah, it's
Okay.
glass on the top.
And the front door, is it also glass in those
Yes,
lights?
so
'Cause
yeah,
it's hard to tell. through
yeah,
the-
it is hard to tell. The top half, top
Four-
3/4, I guess,
Has 4.
has 4, yeah, to match the windows, and then it's a solid panel on the bottom.
Bottom, okay. I think I saw a note from the building inspector about the chimney.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
shown as 2'4". It can only be 2 foot.
yes, was going to give to Danielle. I just didn't get a chance to yet. We revised the site plan to show, so now they pushed back the house by 4 feet ish, and now it's in compliance. It's only 2 feet encroaching, so it's not the 2 feet 4 inches that it
Oh,
was.
okay,
So I think we're all good now.
all righty. All right,
The-
any questions on the house itself? All right, so we can
Oh,
move on to,
one other question.
I'm
Is-
sorry, go ahead.
Is the brick, is it a facade that you use, or is it, do you,
I believe it's like a veneer, so it's a
veneer.
thinner brick than a true brick that'll go onto the foundations.
covers it? Okay.
Any other questions on the house? No. We can move on to the site plan.
Sure. Okay, so this house has a pool, has a patio coming off a little raised, uncovered deck in the back, and then a patio, and then there's a pool behind it with a little patio attached to the pool. Around the perimeter of the rear yard, there will be arborvitaes that line the fence. This particular house has PVC white fence from the other lots. So it's just, instead of having a separate fence, it's gonna just, continue of that PVC.
Okay, and from the house to the north property line?
So that will be an estate style aluminum black fence with a gate on the north side.
Okay.
And then on the south
On
side,
the south, yeah,
same thing by the exterior stairs for the cellar entrance. It'll have a fence. I don't believe there's a gate there though, but it'll be the same estate style black aluminum
and
fence.
what happens with the stair?
You'll have
With
to-
regard to the fence?
You have to walk all the way around. It's to be able to entrance and exit the backyard.
All right. Just take a look at that, maybe. All
Sure,
right, the
yeah.
pool equipment is in the southwest.
Yeah, so the pool is all the way in the southwest corner, and that will be screened by shamrock holly. And then the AC equipment is going to be on the south side of the dwelling by the exterior cellar stairs, right in front of that. And that is going to be screened by compact inkberry. And then there's going to be various plantings around the foundation and the walkways, and that will consist of bayberry, Japanese garden juniper, Korean boxwood, Taylor juniper, shamrock holly. And then along the front street, along Happy Lane, it'll be a mix of white oak and October Glory maple.
Okay,
And then on the north side, along the driveway, that is beach plum.
any questions, anyone? Nope. On this side?
No.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve this application?
Make the motion?
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Why don't we do the 50 Depot Road, and then I'm gonna ask you if you can open these drawings up
Sure.
Sure,
to the front elevation, and we could stamp those drawings.
no problem.
Okay, so next let's take the application for Beechwood West Hampton LLC, 50 Depot Road. This is for a driveway gate and a fence and a 4-foot white, 4-foot white PVC. Do you have copies for the board on this
Yes,
as well?
I do.
You're so good.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Just Paulina Gianpietro, attorney for the applicant, Beechwood West Hampton LLC, 200 Robbins Lane, Suite D1, Jericho, New York, 11753. 11753.
Thank you. I could pass it down. There you go.
Okay, so for this application, this house is almost done. There was a fence, white PVC fence that was already installed on the perimeter. And my client wishes to have a 4-foot high PVC post and rail fence to match the PVC around the
Just want
perimeter.
to clarify one thing.
Sure.
This is the property that's north of the main complex,
Correct.
and it accesses off Depot Road.
Yes.
And you said they did have a white fence installed. It's still there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, so this is, like I said, this is off Depot Road. So the main driveway is only coming off Depot Road. There's a 6-foot and 4-foot, depending on where it's located on the lot, PVC fence, and then around around where the pool and driveway, that's an estate style fence in the interior. It's not PVC on the interior. But my client wished to add a privacy gate, for security purposes. That'll just, it's 20 feet back from the property line. So there's the added fence on the opposite side of the driveway. And then the gate itself is 15 feet across. And then we had to add another 7 feet between the gate and the existing PVC fence on the other side of the driveway.
Okay,
And this image is just a sample of what it's gonna look like. It's gonna have the 3 posts, 3 rails, and it'll be a double gate.
okay. And on the south side of this, the fence that's gonna go from this gate to the property line?
Well, that'll match as well. That'll be a post and rail, 3 post and rail fence that'll match
So
that.
it's matching this post and rail, it's not matching the fence
Correct.
on the north property line?
Correct. It's not gonna match that.
Okay.
The little 7 feet piece that's gonna go from the gate to the fence, so that solid PVC will also be the 3 post and rail fence.
Okay.
So in looking at the house, you'll see it on either side
Yes.
on this. Got it.
Any questions from the board? This side?
Nope.
Get a motion on this? Anybody?
I move that we accept this.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so if you can open
Thank
up
you.
the drawings,
Sure.
if you can give her the office copy, and if you can open that to the front elevation. sign that. What? Let's just do this. I'll take it. This goes here. Can you just sign this one?
What do you want to say? Oh, sorry. Oh, we got it open.
I think we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more?
Oh my
more, wow.
gosh, it's amazing. Amazing.
How many total is it?
22.
22 when we started with 0.
One left, wow. Yeah.
Seemed to go by very fast for us. We weren't doing it.
Thank you very
Good.
much
Yeah.
and have a good night.
Thank
All right,
you.
take care.
Is that the official folder? Or is that an extra one?
That was the next one. I gave you. I gave it to Dawn.
Do you have the North Mall folder?
Yes.
This is just an extra one that was in.
All right, you're here on North Mall? Yes, sir. Okay, this is for Old Riverhead Road Partners LLC, 74 Old Riverhead Road. This is a signed plan for the North Mall. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
Thank you, board, for having me. My name's Anthony Portillo, AMP Architecture, 10200, Main Road, Mattatuck, New York, 11952. So we're presenting the signs for the North Mall. They were illustrated on our plans. These are obviously more specific for the sign plan. We're proposing a sign, a standing sign at the center entrance that would say North Mall and the address. We're proposing the same size.
Do you have a plan that shows the location of that? I thought on the,
Oh, it was on the original plan. Original site plans. That would be on, it would be the PW Grosser plan,
I'm sorry,
the PW Grosser site plan.
say that again.
PW Grosser site plan.
PW?
PW Grosser is the engineer that did the site plan and the landscape plan.
Is that in this package here? Take a look at this.
Probably not. I think that's ours.
It's a separate application. That's a separate application, that's still not processed, we're still waiting on some information, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's no site plan in this. It was the PW Grosser site plan. That was was presented.
Is there a site plan?
It's
It's
still
approved.
downstairs, it's not, it hasn't been.
So
no,
we're not
it's still-
looking at something that's not approved.
Correct. Then we're just waiting on, we were waiting on the check, and then we're waiting on workman's comp. from the
Oh.
Contractor, so we.
So then I have to come back?
I don't.
That's fine, I don't mind. I didn't realize that I thought
We
that
did
that
two
site
separate
plan,
applications,
Yeah.
The sign versus.
yeah. I thought the site plan was included in this
All right,
application.
why don't you start with the site?
Sure.
There are gonna be 3 signs.
Yes, sir. So,
3 ground signs. Let me
3
just
ground signs, that's correct, yeah.
clarify.
They're 4 foot wide, 6 foot tall, 12 inches in depth. The one that's going to be in the center entrance would indicate North Mall with the address, and then there will be one for the north entrance and one for the south entrance. And per our plan or per our design, it would have the names of the businesses on those signs. And respected to the 2 buildings. The idea is that the 3 signs will all match. The difference really is that the north entrance and the south entrance would have smaller signs that we're showing at 5 inches, and those would be like able to be interchanged. So they're like acrylic signs that you can remove and replace for new tenants. Essentially the same composition, a 2-inch gray slate on the top, matte black aluminum edging, gray slate on the bottom, and then on the base would be like a face brick that's matching the face brick that we're putting on the building. It's like a gray. These are backlit. We're proposing Carla for our font. And the center sign obviously will never change. It's called the North Mall. And that address will remain. So that center sign will remain, and then the other ones would be interchangeable depending on the tenants.
Okay, so on the ground signs, it's the Carla font,
Yes, sir.
and how wide is the lettering?
On the center sign, we're proposing a 1 foot wide, 1.5 inches thick for North Mall.
I'm sorry, what's the width of the lettering?
I think it's depending on the height. That's what determines the width on a Carla text. So I don't have the exact width. I can provide that.
But it projects 1.5 inches, I think, is it?
Yes, we're planning on projecting 1.5 inches. There would be aluminum standoffs that would be used to project it on the main sign. The other ones are acrylic and they slide in and out. They won't have any standoff.
I'm sorry?
They're acrylic. They wouldn't have any standoff. They would just be able to slide in and out like an acrylic piece. And those are 5 inches wide. The text is 4 inches in height.
That would have the name of the tenants and.
That's correct. And if, let's say that you get multiple, they would get, say, 3 slots, depending on, and they could organize their name on there.
I'm just gonna ask you to speak up.
Oh, I'm
a
sorry.
little bit. So the lettering on the center that says North Mall,
Yes, sir.
how wide is the,
I don't have the answer to that. I'm sorry. I have the height, which is 1 foot to meet code. That's the max on the code was the 1 foot. The textile would determine the width depending on the height, but I could get that for you.
okay. So it's gonna be 12 inches, each letter is gonna be 12 inches tall.
Yes, sir. For North Mall, and then it'll be a little smaller. It'll be 4 inches tall for the address.
All right. And there's a note here that says precise sign location to be determined on site. So is there still an open issue, Daniela, with the location of the,
I am not sure because I haven't gotten the plans back. Brad's still reviewing them. and
Okay.
Waiting on the
But this site plan does show the location of the signs.
but we don't have it.
I understand. I can provide that.
Yeah.
I thought that it was, again, I thought it was together with this application. I didn't realize that I have to provide another site plan. So I could bring another site plan in.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on the ground, on the 3 ground signs?
I think with regards to the names of the businesses,
Sure.
some obviously are a lot longer than others. So do the letters go down in scale? Are you scaling them? Is that,
I,
that all looks very precise the way it is, but.
sure. I think it might just have to be like abbreviated to allow it to fit on that size sign based on that height. So they're not gonna, the font won't change, so that if they have to do like an abbreviation, or maybe it's just the first name, whatever their name is, like maybe it's the first if it doesn't fit.
That,
I mean, they're gonna have their main sign on the building.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, it's difficult
like a
because we're kind of trying to come up with like a
Right?
kind of a
It's more like a-
templated sign.
This is more like a directory this year, right?
One more time.
More like a directory.
Yeah,
It's
just
not like-
essentially.
What's in
exactly.
what building,
Yeah,
kind of?
well,
Like
they're
unique
they're gonna have a
areas.
sign on the actual building, which
Yeah.
is the storefront sign.
Right.
So that will have their name on it. You know, this is just to have like, hey, this is who's in the complex. You know.
Okay, I think we're gonna have the similar situation when we get to the signs on the building. So
Yeah.
why don't we put this aside for right now?
Okay.
Let's go to the signs on the building.
Sure.
Okay, so if you could describe what you're proposing over the stores.
Sure. We're proposing a 2 foot tall, 9 foot wide, and it would be a 2 inch thick wood sign that's painted Arctic white, which is matching the siding that we're proposing. And then it would have black lettering. We're proposing a 1 foot height on the black lettering. Same font, Carla would be what we would. And then each one has 2 goosenecks that are over it.
I have a question on the matte black 2x2 1/8 inch thick aluminum angle trim
Yes.
around the perimeter of the sign. So that's gonna be, just looking at the screen up there, on the top, is it gonna come down on the front as well? Doesn't show on this drawing.
I think the rendering. So I don't think it would actually do that. It would be similar to like our rendering. It would just be going around like the edge.
So
So the
if-
thickness of the metal would be all you would see on like the front of it.
So it's not gonna have a 2-inch frame
No frame around it.
going around?
No, we were just proposing like like a square sort of frame that you would stick it into.
So when it says 2x2,
Mhm.
that's what confused me. The 1, 2 I thought would be the top, and the other 2 I thought would be the face, which would give the sign a black.
I think the idea would be the 2 inches on the back side, so that if you want to remove that, you can remove it and put a new sign in. So that frame would remain. That's what the 2x2. So you'd probably just see like, because it's eighth inch thick, so you just see an 1/8 inch sort of line, black
A
line.
reveal.
Yeah, just a black line going around, and then the sign could be placed in there and screwed essentially.
So basically, the sign is white. There's no.
Yes,
no
white
border.
with like a 1/8 inch black sort of trim around it. Yeah.
All right. And the other question I have is the lettering, if it's a foot high
Hmm.
and you have a sign like Tonino's,
Yeah.
all right? And
Is it
then
gonna
you have a
fit?
sign Chinatown.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chinatown is not gonna be able to fit the way, so the font, it comes back to the same thing on the ground sign. The font size is gonna be reduced in order for Chinatown to fit on that 9 foot,
Yeah, maybe I guess if the board is, I don't know if that's allowed, could we put like a scale on it, like 8 inches to a foot, depending on,
Is there a
or does it
way,
have to be consistent, I guess?
is there a way to provide an actual drawing of what it would look like to scale with the businesses?
Yeah, I mean, they're not all rented as of now, but I could obviously do the ones that are there if you guys would like to see those. I would say maybe now that you guys are bringing this up, it's a good thought. Maybe there should be the capability of having two, like two lines if needed. So maybe 1 foot doesn't work. Maybe that's be like 8 inches. Then you could have, two lines if needed. So if like Totino's wanted Totino's pizza or something, like they could have pizza underneath it or something.
Yeah, I'm only mentioning it because it's gonna be an issue. I know what you're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, I think it's no, it's definitely a good point. Something I'll have to think about. I'll have to get back. Um, let me talk
but
to them.
your intent is for it to be black and white.
Yeah, I mean, in my head I pictured that it's very, very continuous across and not too much of this up and down but maybe if there's two lines, maybe it wouldn't look that bad because then the top line could be continuous. And then if someone puts anything on the bottom, maybe that's an option.
Or
Because you're right. I mean, it could end up being like, for instance, I know they got like a karate studio going in. So if it's like whatever the name is, then mixed martial arts or something, they might need the ability to put mixed martial arts underneath or something like
Well, it
that.
says here you can have
Or
two signs.
what it is, and then the name somewhere.
It says each
Well, this had
individual business may
Nothing to
have.
do with
It's
the two
more
Or
signs.
just showing the scalability. I mean, I think right now, in theory, you're showing something very uniform and neat and clean, and it looks great. And then the practicality of it is, oh, wait, it's
Yeah.
not all gonna fit.
Yeah.
And stacking it may be not what you want, because it may be
Yeah.
too confusing, but maybe it's a scalability issue,
I think stacking it makes it even more
more
difficult.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I would rather see Tonino's in the 12-inch high lettering, and if Chinatown has to be 8 inches
yeah, like a
For it to fit.
scalability.
Okay.
on one line. because
Okay.
Your
I
sign,
understand.
your sign is only 2 feet overall, so you're not gonna get two lines
Yeah.
at 12 inches each.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess that probably goes for this other ground sign where we're proposing, I think, 4 inches for the lettering. So maybe it has to be able to be like 3 to 4 or something like that.
It's gonna be an issue.
Yeah. I kind of saw at the ground sign that it could be like a little bit less identifiable, I guess if that's the right word, where like obviously they have their sign above their store. The ground sign could be, I'm just thinking like say it's a lawyer's office, like P. Doubler lawyer, like maybe it's just not the whole name or something, depending on what we
I
can
think
fit.
if I was
If you're renting, yeah.
one of my home, I don't think I'd want. I
I'll
don't
think,
I'd
let me
want-
think about it. I think it's a good
I don't think
question.
I'd want China Rest abbreviated.
China
But
China
maybe
tea.
it could be what it is, like, attorney or attorneys here, and the name on the building, or the other way around.
I think the smaller print is what you're gonna end up
I
with.
think
If you're
so.
gonna fit it in,
I
Yeah.
think so.
you've only got
Okay.
24 inches, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean 9 feet's pretty long.
Yeah.
I think if,
9
like
foot.
we're showing
It's
storefront.
not this way, it's.
The other question that I have for.
No, I understand. Let me
is
look at that.
The spacing of the gooseneck lighting,
Yes, sir.
you have 4 foot minimum, 5 foot. I think it should be uniform. Pick a number,
Okay.
whether it be the 4 foot minimum, the sign is 9 feet. What would you like? You see
I would
what I'm
imagine
saying?
4 feet. Yeah,
It
I'll
says
take a look at
4
that.
foot minimum, 5 feet.
I gotta go. I'll go back to the elevation. I'm not sure why it changed a little depending on the sign, but I understand. I'll take a look at that.
Do we care?
As long as it's uniform. You don't have one 5 foot, one 4 foot, one.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm gonna look at
I think
that.
that's what you're trying to do, is it's just to have them all sort of look
Yeah.
uniform. It's not a hodgepodge of lighting and signs.
Yeah, the sign sitting, where the trim is, and in between those columns. If you guys remember the rendering, but that's kind of the idea, right? So it sort of has this symmetrical look across the board.
And it's serving a function too. You're reading the sign, so the light needs to
Right.
Yeah, B.
And then the awning is underneath the sign. So kind of everything's sort of centered. I got a feeling. Let me look back. I'm not 100% sure why I had the 5 foot and then 4 foot minimum, but I'll just pick a number.
You might want to have them submit
I think 4 feet on the 9-foot sign
Makes sense.
would leave 2.5 feet on each side rather than 5 feet,
It's really out.
2 feet,
Yeah, I agree.
lighting more
Sure.
towards the center. My suggestion would be 4 feet.
Sounds good. I would
So-
agree.
What other questions do we have?
just the material, is it brick or is it facade on the signs? It's the one I think you meant,
On the bottom,
the bottom, yeah.
it matches the building?
Yeah, it matches the columns. It's a gray. It's like a dark gray brick. It matches the in between each store. There's a colonnade.
Just a question, when I'm reading the thing, it says each individual business may have 2 signs. Why is that?
So,
Just for my
like
notes.
Tonino's, for instance, that might have 2 signs because they have
They have two
like
units.
2 store units, you know. But I would imagine, again, I'm speaking for Tonino's, but I would
think they're
imagine
the 18-foot units, Tonino has an 18 and an 18.
yeah, they have like the
So he's
catering
gonna have 2 9-foot
essentially.
signs.
Yeah, like I didn't want to do it where, let's say, like a Tonino's does 1 sign and then you have a missing sign and then a sign. So I figured if they have 2 signs, maybe it says Tonino's and the other says like catering or something like that, you know, just so that it's not.
Anybody else have 2 units?
Well, they're talking to Northwell right now. I don't know where that's going, but where the gym used to be, they're discussing a lease with them, which
Over
could
by-
end up being like 4
By
units.
Chinatown?
Yes, on that. Yes, on the south building.
Yeah.
Where the indent is,
All
where
right.
the patio is.
Do we have any other questions?
Just, is there any lighting on the main post sign? Is it,
It's backlit.
Backlit.
Yes.
where is it? It's backlit. That's
Mhm.
what I thought. Okay.
LED
Yeah,
black
that's what I thought.
backlit.
Okay. All right.
So what would you like to do?
I think I gotta adjourn and I'll revise this and I guess bring the site plan. I'll submit the site plan under this application.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
I mean, you said you're gonna adjourn it.
Is that right? Can I have an adjournment?
When is this
Can I
gonna,
postpone?
do you know when this is gonna take place?
They're ready to start. So I think where we're at right now was that the last thing we heard was, I think it's the fee, but also
The fee's been taken care of, we're just waiting on the workman's comp, I heard from
workman's comp.
Darcy.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yes, Darcy. Yeah.
She emailed me earlier today, that she was gonna get that.
Yeah, the owner's taking on the contracting side, so they have to get their own workman's comp. So I think that's all we're waiting for right now.
The intent to start in the summer? They're gonna tear up that parking lot?
I don't know, but I drove in there the other day and almost got a flat tire. So they better do something quick, or I'm not going to Totino's
We're
ever again.
familiar with that.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. I'm sure the rains didn't help us. My understanding is that it's like they're pretty red hot to go, which I think the town is as well wants them to start. So I think they're obliged to get started. Yes.
Okay. No other questions?
Nope.
All right, so
Thank
you're
you.
requesting that we hold this over and we'll see you in 2 weeks?
Sounds great. I'll have this done. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
So can we get a motion?
I'll make
to
the
hold this
motion.
over?
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a rubber band, an extra rubber band? No?
We could steal one off of this.
All right, no other questions? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
And these-
I'm sorry.
Second on adjourning?
I second.
All in favor?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.
You up?
Wait.